In the sprawling, often mythologized history of professional sports, very few names evoke the same level of reverence, debate, and sheer awe as LeBron James. He is not merely a basketball player, he is a cultural institution, a business mogul, a community builder, and arguably the most complete athlete to ever lace up a pair of sneakers. When observers look at the trajectory of his career, they do not just see a collection of championships, most valuable player awards, and scoring records. They see a masterclass in longevity, adaptability, and relentless self-improvement. From the fractured and unstable neighborhoods of Akron, Ohio, to the glittering arenas of the National Basketball Association, his journey is a testament to the power of extraordinary talent combined with an unbreakable work ethic. To understand his legacy is to understand the evolution of the modern athlete, a figure who has transcended the boundaries of his sport to become a global icon of empowerment, intellect, and enduring greatness. The genesis of this unparalleled champion is rooted in a childhood marked by profound instability and hardship. Born on the last day of December in 1984 in Akron, Ohio, LeBron Raymond James was raised by his young, single mother, Gloria Marie James. Their early years were a nomadic existence, moving from apartment to apartment across Akron as Gloria struggled to find stable employment and keep her son away from the pervasive dangers of their environment. There was no father figure in the home, and financial resources were perpetually scarce. During this time, basketball was not initially his primary passion. In fact, it was football that first captured his attention. He played pee-wee football, where his size and speed made him a dominant force, and his coaches often tried to steer him toward a future on the gridiron. However, the physical toll of the sport and the concerns of his youth football coach, who feared for his safety, led to a pivotal transition. It was during a youth football season that a coach named Frank Walker introduced the 9-year-old to a basketball team. Lacking a ball of his own, LeBron borrowed one, and the moment he stepped onto the hardwood, a dormant genius was awakened. The geometry of the court and the rhythm of the game resonated with him instantly, setting the stage for a destiny that would alter the sports world forever. Recognizing the extraordinary potential in the young boy, Frank Walker and his family offered LeBron a place to stay, providing him with the stability and structure that his early childhood had lacked. This move was a turning point, pulling him away from the chaotic streets and placing him in an environment where he could focus entirely on his development. He eventually settled with the family of Dru Joyce II, a youth basketball coach, and became inseparable from Dru's son, Dru Joyce III, and their friends Sean Cotton and Willie McGee. Together, they formed a traveling amateur athletic union team known as the Shooting Stars. Under the guidance of Coach Joyce, LeBron was subjected to rigorous training and high-level competition far beyond his years. This tight-knit group of friends became his anchor, a brotherhood that would remain central to his life long after he achieved global fame. It was within this supportive yet demanding framework that his fundamental skills were honed, his basketball intelligence was sharpened, and his legendary competitive fire was stoked. He was no longer just a kid from a rough neighborhood, he was a prodigy being meticulously crafted for greatness. As he entered St. Vincent St. Mary High School, a private Catholic institution in Akron, the local phenomenon quickly morphed into a national sensation. His high school games were no longer just local affairs, they were televised events that drew scouts, media personnel, and fans from across the country. Gymnasiums that normally held a few hundred spectators were packed to the fire code limits, with people lining the streets just to catch a glimpse of the teenager, who played with the power of a seasoned veteran and the vision of a master point guard. His physical maturity was staggering for his age, standing over 6 feet tall as a freshman and possessing a wingspan and muscular frame that intimidated grown men. Yet, it was his mental processing speed that truly set him apart. He could read defenses, anticipate passing lanes, and control the tempo of a game with a calmness that belied his youth. The media frenzy reached a fever pitch when he became the first high school player to appear on the cover of Sports Illustrated magazine. The magazine famously dubbed him the Chosen One, a moniker that carried an immense, almost crushing weight of expectation. Instead of buckling under the pressure, he thrived, leading his team to multiple state championships and cementing his status as the most highly recruited and scrutinized high school athlete in American history. When the time came to declare for the National Basketball Association draft in 2003, the debate over whether he should skip college was fierce, but his decision to turn professional was a foregone conclusion. He possessed the physical tools, the mental acuity, and the sheer force of will to compete at the highest level immediately. The Cleveland Cavaliers, holding the first overall pick, selected him with a fervor that bordered on religious devotion. The city of Cleveland, a blue-collar metropolis that had suffered decades of sports heartbreak and economic decline, saw in him not just a basketball player, but a savior. The franchise handed him the number 23 jersey, a number laden with the ghostly legacy of Michael Jordan, and LeBron immediately embraced the burden of leadership. From his very first game, he announced his arrival, orchestrating the offense, hitting clutch shots, and displaying a court vision that made his teammates look like all-stars. He was a one-man fast break, a force of nature who could grab a rebound, push the length of the court, and finish with a thunderous dunk that shook the stanchion. The fans adored him, the media was captivated, and the league saw the dawn of a new, marketable era. His first stint with the Cavaliers was a period of individual brilliance set against the backdrop of a flawed roster. For 7 seasons, he carried the weight of a franchise that lacked the complementary talent necessary to win a championship. He won his first Most Valuable Player award in 2009, leading the team to the best record in the league, but the playoffs revealed the harsh realities of the sport. In 2007, he had single-handedly dragged his team to the NBA Finals, only to be swept by the seasoned and disciplined San Antonio Spurs. That experience was a crucible, teaching him that individual greatness, no matter how spectacular, was insufficient without a cohesive and talented supporting cast. He won another MVP in 2010, putting up statistical numbers that rivaled the greatest seasons in basketball history, yet the ultimate prize remained elusive. The frustration of being trapped in a small market, with limited financial flexibility, to build a contender began to weigh heavily on him. He realized that to achieve his ultimate goal of winning multiple championships, he needed to take control of his destiny, a realization that would lead to the most controversial and transformative decision of his career. In the summer of 2010, LeBron became an unrestricted free agent, and the entire sports world held its breath. In an unprecedented move that blurred the lines between sports, entertainment, and media, he announced his decision in a live, hour-long television special called The Decision. He declared that he would be taking his talents to South Beach to join the Miami Heat, forming a super team alongside his close friend Dwayne Wade and the all-star Chris Bosh. The backlash was instantaneous and severe. Fans in Cleveland burned his jersey, pundits labeled him a villain, and the narrative shifted from the chosen savior to the ultimate bad guy. Yet, LeBron was unfazed by the hatred, using it as fuel to forge a new, more ruthless mentality. The first year in Miami ended in disappointment, as they lost in the finals to the Dallas Mavericks, a defeat that exposed his lingering mental hurdles in clutch moments. But failure was a powerful teacher. He retreated to the postseason workouts, working tirelessly with Hall of Famer Hakeem Olajuwon to develop a reliable back-to-the-basket game. The transformation was immediate and terrifying for the rest of the league. He emerged the following year not just as a perimeter athlete, but as a complete, unguardable offensive weapon. The culmination of his evolution in Miami resulted in back-to-back championships in 2012 and 2013. These victories were masterclasses in dominance and tactical brilliance. The 2013 finals against the San Antonio Spurs, in particular, stands as one of the greatest series in basketball history. Trailing by 3 points in the final seconds of Game 6, with their backs against the wall, LeBron hit a miraculous three-pointer to force overtime, saving the team from elimination. They went on to win the game and eventually the series, with LeBron earning the Finals MVP award. During this period, he also won 2 regular season MVP awards and 2 Finals MVP awards, solidifying his place among the all-time greats. He had silenced his critics, proven that he could win on the grandest stage, and transformed the Heat into a dynasty. However, the physical toll of playing a heavy minutes load, combined with the relentless scrutiny and the desire to leave a lasting legacy in his hometown, began to pull his thoughts back to Ohio. The villain arc in Miami had served its purpose, forging him into a champion, but his heart remained tethered to the city that had drafted him and broken his heart years before. In 2014, he penned an emotional open letter announcing his return to the Cleveland Cavaliers, stating that his mission was to bring a championship to Northeast Ohio. The city erupted in joy, forgiving the sins of the past and embracing their prodigal son. The team was restructured around him, acquiring all-star point guard Kyrie Irving and power forward Kevin Love to form a new, formidable Big Three. The journey to the pinnacle was fraught with challenges, including coaching changes and injuries, but they managed to navigate the Eastern Conference and reach the finals in his first year back, ultimately falling to the Golden State Warriors. The following year, 2016, provided a script that no Hollywood writer could have invented. The Cavaliers faced the Warriors, a team that had won a record 73 regular season games. Cleveland fell behind 3-1, a deficit from which no team had ever recovered in the history of the NBA Finals. What followed was a display of athletic and psychological dominance that defied logic. LeBron and Kyrie led a stunning comeback, winning 3 consecutive elimination games. In the decisive Game 7, LeBron delivered a performance for the ages, recording a triple-double and making the block, a chase-down defensive play on Andre Iguodala in the final minute that is widely considered the greatest defensive play in basketball history. When the final buzzer sounded, Cleveland had its first major sports championship in 52 years, and LeBron had fulfilled his promise, collapsing to the floor in tears, exorcising the demons of his past and cementing his mythical status. After 4 more seasons in Cleveland, during which he dragged a depleted roster to 4 consecutive finals appearances, he made another seismic shift in his career. In 2018, he signed with the Los Angeles Lakers, seeking a new challenge in the entertainment capital of the world and looking to secure his family's future in a massive media market. The first year in Los Angeles was marred by a severe groin injury that kept him out of the playoffs for the first time in his career, a stark reminder of his mortality. However, he reinvented his game once again, adapting to a slower pace and focusing on playmaking and leadership. The acquisition of Anthony Davis prior to the 2020 season provided the perfect co-star, and together they navigated the unique challenges of the pandemic-affected bubble season in Orlando. LeBron dominated the bubble, leading the Lakers to the NBA championship and winning his 4th Finals MVP award. This victory was deeply emotional, dedicated to the memory of his late friend Kobe Bryant, and it proved that even in his mid-30s, he was still the most impactful player in the league. His pursuit of the all-time scoring record, a milestone long considered untouchable and held by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, became the final great quest of his playing career. In 2023, in a game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, he hit a fadeaway jumper to surpass Kareem, becoming the NBA's all-time leading scorer. The game was paused for a standing ovation, a moment of universal reverence for a man who had redefined longevity and consistency. While his on-court achievements are staggering, his off-court empire is equally revolutionary. He has fundamentally changed the paradigm of the athlete-entrepreneur, moving far beyond simple endorsement deals to build a diversified, multi-million-dollar business conglomerate. Through his SpringHill company, he produces films, television shows, and digital content, giving athletes and creators of color a platform to tell their own stories. His investment portfolio is vast and strategic, including a significant ownership stake in Fenway Sports Group, which owns the Liverpool Football Club, the Boston Red Sox, and the Pittsburgh Penguins. He has invested in tech startups, fitness chains, and even a pizza franchise, Blaze Pizza, where his involvement helped skyrocket the brand's valuation. Unlike many athletes who lose their wealth after retirement, LeBron has built a financial fortress designed to generate generational wealth. Yet, his most profound off-court achievement is the I Promise School in his hometown of Akron. Opened in 2018, the school is not just a public educational facility, it is a comprehensive community center designed to support at-risk children and their families. It provides free tuition, meals, bicycles, and even guarantees college tuition at the University of Akron for its graduates. Furthermore, it offers resources for parents, including JED classes and job placement assistance. This project is the physical manifestation of his belief that true success is measured by what you give back to the community that raised you. His influence extends deeply into the realms of social justice and political activism. He has used his massive platform to speak out against racial inequality, police brutality, and voter suppression. When he opened the More Than a Vote organization to combat voter intimidation and encourage civic engagement in Black communities, he demonstrated that his leadership was not confined to the basketball court. He has navigated the complex intersection of sports and politics with a nuance and intelligence that commands respect from both sides of the aisle. He understands the power of his voice and uses it deliberately, often funding community initiatives and supporting candidates who align with his vision for equity and opportunity. This willingness to engage in difficult conversations and take stands that might alienate some consumers sets him apart from the apathetic athletes of previous generations. He has embraced the responsibility that comes with his privilege, using his wealth and influence to drive tangible change in a deeply flawed society. As he enters the twilight of his legendary career, playing alongside his son Bronny, and achieving a father-son milestone that once seemed impossible, LeBron James stands alone at the summit of the sports world. He is a paradox. A physically imposing force who plays with the grace of a dancer, a fierce competitor, who is a devoted family man, a global superstar, who never forgot the struggles of his childhood. He has conquered every obstacle placed in his path, from the poverty of Akron to the crushing expectations of the media, from the heartbreak of early playoff exits to the vilification of his prime years. He has rewritten the record books, redefined the business model for modern athletes, and transformed the lives of countless individuals through his philanthropy. The debate over whether he is the greatest basketball player of all time may continue in sports bars and living rooms for decades, but the debate over whether he is the most impactful, complete, and influential athlete in the history of sports is already settled. LeBron James did not just play the game, he elevated it, expanded it, and used it as a vehicle to change the world. His story is the ultimate American epic, a tale of a boy who was given nothing but a basketball and a dream, and who through sheer force of will, turned that dream into an immortal legacy.